everybody, it's Call Rain or Call Rain Tarot here on YouTube. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning guest, welcome again. I'm glad to have you back. I'm very honored today that you are receiving a reading from me. I was just inspired on this full moon, super full moon in Scorpio, to do a video on what makes you attractive, what people enjoy about your energy, what's kind of a gift of yours, and I just wanted to say hello first before we get into pile picking. So let's get into that right now. Okay, so we're gonna get into pile picking right now. I'll introduce the piles and let you kind of think about them while we light the candle. And today I have a karma candle out, which is kind of like sandalwood smell. It's really interesting and intriguing. But we have pile 1 with this little white stone, pile 2 with this little piece of fire opal, pile 3 with this stripy rock, and then pile 4 with this purple fire opal shard as well. I really like fire opal. They were gifted to me by a good friend, and fire opal just kind of describes me being a Leo. So we're gonna light our candle and set our intention that this helps us increase self-love, understand how others enjoy our presence, and I think that that's it. So let's get into pile 1. Hello, pile 1. If you chose pile 1 or this little white rock, then this is going to be your reading on what people admire about you, what makes you attractive to other people, and why they appreciate certain elements of your personality. We have Chakra Samvara, Vajradakini, and White Tara coming from the Buddha Wisdom Shakti Power deck. We have Consciousness and Remembrance coming from the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle deck. And then we have Son of Wands, 7 of Cups, and then the 3 of Cups reversed from the Wild Unknown Tarot. Something that I was first getting when I was looking at these cards for you, pile 1, is that you are just very attractive. Like physically, people are kind of stunned by your beauty. They are wonderfully, like, it's almost like a hypnotic sense that you have, like in your eyes especially, and your smile is also something that really draws people in. You have a captivating presence about your smile. When you laugh, the entire room lights up, especially with the Son of Wands card. You bring the light is a phrase that was really drawn to my attention. With this Consciousness, replace hatred through learning and wisdom, and then also by your quiet listening, you can liberate others from fear here on the White Tara. This is something that I'm getting the sense you kind of bring with you, really strong guides and a strong presence as well. So like when you enter a room, everybody knows that you're there. You have this ability to kind of transform consciousness when you are around, and that's why I think that this Consciousness card came out. You're somebody who also, if you're in business environments, I'm getting the sense for a lot of you, you have like meetings or a lot of like face-to-face conversations where you're in a group of people and you kind of stand out among the group. People also, in one sense, they're a little bit intimidated by you, not to like dishearten you or anything. People are intimidated by you because they have so much respect. It's like you command respect from the room as well. You also are a teacher of some kind, so whether that be just through your existence, like your identity, who you are, you offer this like liberation and this kind of transformation of somebody's like consciousness, the way that they think about certain groups of people, or the way that they communicate themselves as well. You kind of push back on that, even just by like purely walking into a room. You don't even have to say something. It's just, I have a feeling it's the way that you communicate through like body language and through your facial expressions as well. There's something about the face that's really important in this group. You also could have some strong Aries influences in your chart. I'm just getting a lot of fire energy and also Scorpio energy as well. There is some element of mystery to you as well, though. I'm being drawn to the White Tara white Tara, excuse me. And then also with these three cards here, the Son of Wands is specifically somebody who's very charming, very mystical, and with the snake, you have like this sense of like bringing in the fire, bringing in the light, but you also have a bit of closed off nature to you as you try and keep certain things to yourself, and people wonder, how can this person be like this? How can they be so pure? How could they be so sure of themselves, driven, focused? With the Seven of Cups and then the Three of Cups in reverse, I feel like these are kind of connected cups energy. So there's a certain element of you keeping your emotions to yourself. People are curious about your emotional life, and you only open up to a certain number of people, but the number of people that you do open up to and the group of people that you keep close to you, they really do understand you, and they do appreciate the depth and the wisdom that is embedded in your emotional body as well. With the Remembrance, I feel like you're highly connected to past lives, or at least your understanding of what you need to liberate in this life karmically, and how you also like carry out each action, how each action or each act of karma, because karma is our action, how these all affect you spiritually and how this gets carried out in your next life. I feel like you're somebody who's spiritually very aware, and that's why you're kind of because you're very spiritually aware, you have this discernment and you place these boundaries on your social life and the people that you bring into that small social circle. With the Wisdom showing up twice, union of wisdom and compassion, and then also this card that says replace hatred through learning and wisdom. You are somebody that has people come to you for advice. You are somebody that I'm getting the sense that your quality of wisdom and like kind of groundedness and peace that you bring into this incarnation, and the way that you communicate it as well with these blue, both of these being very blue, you have kind of like this, I don't know if you noticed, but there's like red, orange, and blue are the three colors that are interacting the most in this spread, which is really cool, and I really appreciate that the cards decided to communicate with each other in this way. But people come to you to hear your voice, to hear your wisdom. I have a feeling that you have a very melodic voice. You have a way of sharing your ideas with people, sharing your perspective on things that people just kind of really appreciate and take your word as fact. People come to you because they know that what you say, like, is grounded in something that's more connected. You're somebody that doesn't really have to think all that much about what you're going to say. You're just going to say things that are very in touch. They're things that people need to hear. Other people's guides kind of use you as a channel very often, because you are this person who is willing to speak, and you have the articulation in order to speak things that are wise, and they are also with the intent of liberating others, and you're not going to say anything that is not for the greatest good of the people that are involved. I want to read consciousness as well. Consciousness can be described as a state of awareness or focused attention, and wherever we direct our attention will dominate our minds. Like the universe, consciousness is alive, forever expanding, breathing, and morphing. Consciousness reflects reality, and reality reflects consciousness in return. We no longer receive input solely through the senses that are closely connected to our physical body alone. We receive communication from beyond the body through intuitive thought, intuitive knowing, and intuitive feeling. Light and consciousness are closely connected. They both have quantum attributes that are nonlinear. Light is an energy that can be created through consciousness, and consciousness can create light in return. Light influences our awareness, our perception, our consciousness, and therefore our reality. So with the way that you communicate, like I said, people instantly understand that this is very highly connected. Like, you are somebody that has been connected to source for, I believe, many lifetimes. You're somebody who you speak when you know that you have a purpose for speaking. You bring the light into this reality. You carry light very easily, and you have a transformational quality with the light that you carry as well. Everything that you speak comes from a place of higher good. You don't want to speak things into existence, and you understand the importance of speaking things into existence that are negative in nature or are not understanding the perspective of the other person. You're somebody who is very wise. You're constantly trying to think through situations and understand, like, you read the room really well as well. That's something that I'm picking up. You're highly in tune with other people even though you aren't always engaging. And that's something that I think is wonderful. It was an honor to read for you today, Pile 1. I am so happy and blessed to have you here, and I hope that the rest of your day, the rest of your evening is full of blessings and light and love. Have a wonderful day. I will see you in the next video. Let's move on to Pile 2. Hello, Pile 2. If you chose Pile 2, or this little orange fire opal, this is going to be a reading on what others find admirable, attractive, or enticing about you as a person in this incarnation. We have Rahula, fierce planetary deity of the sky, who says, confront the things that scare you the most. We also have the thousand-armed Avalokitesvara, he who looks compassionately upon the earth, and he says, quiet compassion is sometimes the best course. We have Amoghasiddhi, Buddha guardian of the north, who says, cultivating a well-rounded personality brings fearlessness. And then we have the healing card, which says, the frequency of healing supports our intrinsic ability to restore our health and wholeness by consciously using the information that comes to us through our senses and harmonizing everything accordingly. We have the heart chakra as well. The frequency of the heart chakra, the green flower of life, supports our capacity to love deeply and unconditionally. Its healing properties harmonize the mind and body. We have healing twice here and a lot of green. I just wanted to point that out before I go on. For regular tarot, we have the Eight of Swords and then the Mother of Wands. Immediately, as soon as I tapped into your energy, there is a strong pull in my chest around my heart chakra that just is like emanating this warmth and radiance. There's something about you that pulls people in because of your heart. You have a very strong heart, and you also, with this deity that has the eyes all over his body and the like fierce flames, and then we have the Queen of Wands, you're somebody who is very fiery. You kind of have this like passion that draws you and brings you around into every like social circle that you're in. You're somebody that is quick-witted. You can respond to people really fast. I feel like it's kind of humorous as well. You're something about the way that you communicate with people is very lighthearted, very loving, compassionate, especially with this compassion right here. You're somebody who definitely operates mostly out of your heart-centered space. Like, you are somebody that people really want to be around often because of the way that you love others, the way that you look into their situation, and you can just say something that pretty much anybody would find funny. Also with this, I'm being drawn to all the faces. I feel like you are also very adaptable because of your heart, because of your capacity to love. You just pick up on what people need emotionally and you can kind of shapeshift into that. It's like a chameleon energy. You can look one way, appear one way in one situation. Actually, all of these cards have this like multiplicity to them, where this deity has like multi faces, this one does as well, and all the arms, and there's a lot of arms actually in all of these, where you're like willing to lend a helping hand. That's also something that I picked up on in this energy, is that you are really willing to extend a hand of gratitude, of generosity, things like that to anyone who you kind of intuitively just pick up on as needing your help, as needing a friendly face, as needing somebody to listen to them as well. You have a very, with this Queen of Wands as well, or Mother of Wands, you have a very like unique fashion sense as well that people like. I feel like you're kind of famous for it, or you're known for it, and it's something that like you don't really care if other people don't really dress this way, don't present themselves this way. You just kind of wear what you want to wear and you shine really brilliantly for it. It's very Aquarian energy, or just air energy in general. It could also be Libra. I feel like Libra and Aquarius have very unique and exuberant fashion senses, and you're somebody who kind of embodies that. You have this like fashion sense that really makes people their attention turn towards you and see how you're this like kind of brilliant and exciting person to be around. You're somebody who acts very much the way that you dress as well. Like your personality is also kind of involved in the way that you dress with this cultivating a well-rounded personality card. I feel like over time, you're someone who has kind of shown many faces or had many different personalities. You can be friends with virtually pretty much anyone. Like, you could blend into a lot of different social circles and a lot of different situations, and you're kind of realizing as time has gone on that you don't need to be in every social situation. Just because you want to help everybody doesn't mean that everybody is going to be in your best interest to help, if that makes any sense. Something that I'm getting from your guides is just, especially with this healing and this Eight of Swords, is that be careful who you open up to. I'm getting the sense that your heart chakra showed up here because it's a little bit overactive, and that's not a bad thing. Being a loving and caring and compassionate person is something that more people need to embody, and it's a beautiful energy for you to be in. But there is something about being sure that you kind of step more into this Queen of Wands energy where you're a little bit more independent, and you know your worth, you know your sense of like fieriness. So I think that that's also why this deity came out, Rahula, to confront the things that scare you the most, could be a little bit more confrontational. I think that that's why that word confront is there as well. It's kind of to, with these eyes, it's like seeing the truth of a situation, seeing it with compassion still. You can still have compassion for people, but not have to engage with them every time, if that makes sense. And when you do this, when you kind of have discernment and have a little bit more of a boundary setting that you do, where you are like, okay, no, you know what, I don't have to put up with everything. I still have compassion, I still have this love, I'm a wonderful, generous, like loving person, but that doesn't mean that I have to go and be in every social situation, be in every social circle. It doesn't mean that I have to open my heart and pour my heart out to everybody that's in front of me. And that's where I think that that healing is going to come from. I also want to read healing because I feel like there's a message there for you. Healing literally means to make whole. It refers to the process of restoring health to something or someone that is unbalanced, diseased, or damaged. For us to reach or maintain a state of health and wholeness, we need to balance all aspects of ourselves. Our physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional bodies have to harmoniously work together, and this requires clear communication and awareness of all the information that our sensory system is providing us. So far, we have recognized sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch as the five senses that provide this feedback. In the new energy, we are invited to add our intuitive perception as the sixth, which complements this profound and essential feedback system as well. The color green dominates this activation, as it is associated with health, most likely because in nature, green indicates growth, fertility, and life. When in springtime, we see the first greenish glow return on the branches of the trees, we know that a new growth cycle has started, a clear indication of the continuance of life. Green also refers to a heart that is open to truth, compassion, and love. That is definitely something that I am getting with this pile, is just that you need to kind of trust your intuition. You have a really strong intuition because you have this heart that knows what love is. You know what compassion is. You know what healthy reciprocated energy feels like. And I have a feeling that I just sense a lot of people around you. So many people in your social circles, so many people in situations around you. This could also be large families as well. And just knowing where your energy is needed and where you could other people will benefit, and where you will also benefit, most importantly, from sharing your energy in certain spaces, because you are this like really worthy and really fiery and wonderful and lighthearted person who has so much love to give, and you can give people so wonderfully and abundantly all of this love. But you just need to use your eyes, your intuitive eyes as well, in order to see through, like, frankly, some people's bullshit. People, when they see somebody as being so loving and they feel that love that just radiates from you, they can kind of get greedy at sometimes and want to take and be in spaces that just don't belong. And because you're so loving, they'll know that it's going to be difficult for you to kind of push them away. But I guess the message here for you is that you have so much love. You are this radiant, wonderful light being. Sometimes we need to just have a little bit more discernment about who we want to give that to, and what social circles that we're going to benefit from as well, because we also should be benefiting from our own love. I'm so honored and so blessed that you watched my video today and got a reading from me, and I hope that this resonated. I hope that this helped you to affirm what you already know about yourself and helped you feel good about the qualities that are most apparent in your energy field. I will see you in the next video, and I hope that you have a blessed evening or blessed day. Otherwise, we're going to move on to pile 3. Hello, pile 3. If you chose the stripy rock, or pile 3 in general, this is going to be your reading of what people find attractive about you, what kind of draws them in, and what people appreciate about who you are. We have the infant Ganesh, remover of obstacles. Call on Ganesh to remove obstacles in your life. We have Vajravarahi's creation fusion mandala. Bliss swirls of delight. Focus on beauty, manifest harmony. And this is a Merkaba symbol as well. We have the third eye chakra, which is talking about, it supports our intuition and our inner knowing, our imagination and our psychic powers. We have the emergence, which says the frequency of emergence invites us to approach our reality with a childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment, and to watch and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from that place. We have the Ace of Pentacles from the Wild Unknown Tarot, and then we have the throat chakra, which is talking about supporting our self-expression and our sense of peace and balance. So, I feel like you, if you're watching this, you're somebody that is kind of, it's like the word permeable is coming to me. So you're somebody who can kind of move in and out of a lot of situations, but you don't necessarily have to engage with them. So with the infant Ganesh, usually the description of him is somebody who is, Ganesh is somebody who you could introduce to anyone, and he kind of just gets along with anyone who he comes into contact with. And I have a feeling that you just have a very peaceful sense about your aura. Also, I'm getting a lot of Leo energy for this pile, even though there's not a lot of fire cards or anything like that. That's just something that came to me while I was kind of resting in your energy going into this. You also are somebody that I have a feeling that your laugh is something that's very unique about you, something that draws people in, something that makes them very, very excited to be around you. For a lot of people, I think that you are somebody that they really like debating ideas with. They really like to throw ideas back and forth with you. You kind of also bring up a lot of new projects for people, things that they want to pursue creatively. You also may be somebody that is a very creative person as well. You have this kind of passion to get through certain things, and people want you to be around, even if you feel like you don't make that much of a contribution to these projects. just you being there, being able to throw ideas around with you is very helpful and something that people really appreciate with you. You also may have some heavy earth energy here with the Ace of Pentacles. That's also something that I picked up on. It's just kind of a fixed energy, so that's why I was getting Leo, possibly Taurus as well. But the Ace of Pentacles is also something that I feel like people just feel luxurious around you. You make them feel appreciated. You also, I feel like, are very generous with your words, with this throat chakra being here. You're somebody who can kind of give compliments very readily. There's something just about your laugh and your smile and when you're happy. And with the third eye chakra as well, I feel like people really trust your judgment, your opinion of things as well, because I feel like you definitely have strong opinions, at least. And I think that this is something, not that people are like intimidated by the way that you would think a strong opinion would be, but people just see that as you enjoying life. You really indulge your senses in a way because you trust them as well, and you trust them to help you make decisions spiritually. You're somebody who can really indulge in the material world, and it makes people really appreciate the world around them as well. You're somebody who brings people into the material. You help them see why we're in a human experience, and that's something really beautiful. Also, with this remover of obstacles here, I feel like this is something that you kind of embody. You help people see that the bad things in life or the things that are thrown their way aren't all that bad. Like, they're just things that sometimes we have to step over and we have to get through. But you ultimately help people focus on the good, focus on seeing things and transforming them into how can you view this in a way that helps you? How can you view things in a way that help you see them so that they are helping you along rather than harming you or pushing you back? There's something also about like counseling, being able to have people come to you or have just a natural affinity to like fix problems or have a solution to problems. People really see that you can kind of cut through certain situations and see where shortcomings have happened in other situations. You can kind of see through things from a detached perspective and kind of be a friend to anybody that needs it. You're not really too picky about what like friends you have around, the people that are around you, because you know who you like, you know who you're friends with, and so people generally hold you in high esteem when you're around because you're like close friends. I feel like they're probably people that you've had around for a while, or you just like got close to them really quickly or something. There's something about a strong sense of comfortability. You don't really focus that much about changing your situation. You kind of just accept whatever comes in, let go whatever comes out. There's just a strong sense of peace and a sense of allowance in this group as well. I was very honored to read for you today, Pile 3. I hope that this resonated, and I hope that this affirmed certain characteristics and traits about you. And I will see you in the next video. I hope that you have a blessed rest of your day or evening, and otherwise we're going to move on to Pile 4. Hello, Pile 4. If you chose Pile 4 or this little purple fire opal piece, then this is going to be your reading on what people admire about you, what draws them in, and what just makes you attractive in general. So we have the brilliant mind of Ushnishavajaya, goddess of long life. The path of the intellect can yield a long life. The primordial Buddha Vajrahadra, brilliant sky, illuminating sun. The entire universe manifests out of awareness. And then we have Vajrasattva, the father of the 5 Buddha families. You are fine just the way you are. Solar plexus chakra, which says it supports our sense of self, our personal power, and our willpower, as well as our knowing of who we are and what our contribution is to the whole. Discernment, which says the frequency of discernment supports our ability to view the world and the people around us from a place of inner balance and detachment, yet with compassion and wisdom. And then from tarot, we have the Father of Pentacles or King of Pentacles, Four of Cups, and the Eight of Wands, and all of them are reversed. So there's some kind of blocked energy or just like abundance of energy here. But with these, I first got from this group, like while I was shuffling the cards, something that really like stood out to me for this pile was that you have some kind of a very strong guide. You have a guide that kind of it's like playing chess and you like just wipe out a bunch of other pieces, or you do some crazy move that like shocks and blows everybody away. You have guides that have power. They have some kind of influence, like in a very strong influence on other people, just situations. They can kind of like bargain for you and do things for you. So I'm guessing your guides want some kind of like appreciation in some way. You have a very strong sense of like financial gain or like career. There's like a strong sense of like you know who you are like career wise, and there's something about people when people meet you for the first time or they get to know you as a friend, like your career is very embedded in your personality as well. Like what you do in this life is also highly connected to how people conceptualize who you are as a person. The path of intellect here is also that the things that you study or the things that you have studied in the past, the way that you research life, the way that you understand life is highly connected to the way that you communicate, the way that people appreciate like just the conversations that they have with you, the way that you influence them as well. You can just throw in different facts and like teachings and stuff. Like you're somewhat of like a teacher, even if I feel like not a lot of you are actually going to be teachers. Some of you may be actual teachers, but like you're just a natural teacher. Like you don't even have to consider yourself a teacher to teach people things. Like that's just something that comes very naturally to you. Also with this primordial Buddha, nothing really gets by you. So like if an opportunity comes to you, you're gonna jump on it. Like you are somebody that is very driven, very focused, and you have the willpower to do things. I feel like you are the kind of person that's like kind of go go go, and you have like a seemingly endless amount of energy. People are just, they admire you a lot because they're like, wow, this person has so much energy to do what they want, to be passionate about it, to be creative, to like constantly be doing things. You may have a lot of side projects as well, like besides your regular job. I feel like some of you have kind of like a quote unquote like regular like 9 to 5 job, but then you also have these like side jobs that you do that like just blow people out of the water because you may have like hidden talents as well. And that's why this card also came out with the Vajrasattva. People are just very like they wouldn't change anything about you because you're this person who, I feel like you're the type of person that's like a neighbor that would just come out and like have a conversation with somebody and just be like, okay, like have a wonderful evening or whatever, and then you go in and continue doing whatever, and like you call up your friend and like talk to them while you're doing all sorts of other things. Like you have the ability to be sociable, but then also kind of like to yourself, and you take care of yourself, and it's just nice. Like you're nurturing, and you're also like very driven with your like career and finances and stuff. That's also why I think the Father of Pentacles is here. You're somebody who's very like, you get that coin, you're in your bag, you have multiple money making outlets, like you have your hobbies, your projects, all of these skills and talents that you're like you get that monetary wealth from, and also that like emotional fulfillment from it as well. And people just really like, you're kind of the person that people are like, what, like how does this person do that? And you also like, you're not going to get taken advantage of at any point either. I feel like people are very inspired by the way that you accept business opportunities. You always seem to know what the good move is, or what your next move should be. Like people will be kind of confused sometimes. I feel like some of you, at least one of you, has had an opportunity come to you where people are like, oh, that would be such an amazing opportunity, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna pass that up, I just don't have a good feeling about it or whatever. and you're usually right. I feel like something that is important for you though is to not let your emotions kind of be something that you only harbor to yourself. I feel like some people wonder how you do so much and it doesn't affect your emotional world. Even though you don't let your emotions show, or like you're not overly emotional, people don't really associate you with being very emotional. You are a person that does have a very rich emotional self. You just don't always feel the need to completely share it with other people, because I feel like you have a very healthy outlet of dealing with these emotions and cleansing these emotions out as well within your own inner self, because you like to go within. You like to kind of lay it all out on the table, lay it out all out on the line. You like do spiritual practices, rituals, those kind of things to really like cleanse it, get it out, examine it, and then it doesn't bleed into the other things. And that's why you have this seemingly endless amount of energy, where because you have this connection to source, you have this connection to your guides, you can be a lot more blissed out and a lot more peaceful and just follow your passions. And that's also why I think that this Eight of uh, Wands is in reverse. Okay, so I take back what I said earlier about that blockage or whatever, because I was kind of confused about all these reversed cards, but I feel like this is more an abundance of energy. You just have like a lot of support, and I feel like this is your guides coming through to like give you certain messages about your emotional self, your material self, how you kind of can manifest this abundance really greatly for yourself. And this is your guides communicating with you often. You have a very strong relationship with your guides, whether you intentionally do that or not. You just intuitively know, okay, well, this is a message for me, I'm gonna act on that. And you're somebody that does act very easily on the messages and the signals and the communication you get from your guides. And that's why people admire your discernment so much, and that like decision making that you do inherently have. I am so honored to have read for you today, Pile 4. I hope that you enjoyed your reading and that something resonated for you, and that you could also affirm something that you already know about yourself as a beautiful and wonderful spiritual being. I hope that you have a blessed rest of your day or rest of your night, and I hope that this resonated as well. I will see you in the next video. Otherwise, bye, Pile 4.